Okay, I'm going to play a bit more of Lords of the Spanish Main. I just got the idea that I want to film a whole game, so it's out there if ever anyone wants such a thing. And I've had a break for this for a week or so, and I'm jumping back in quite raw, so we'll see how it goes. And I think everything's straight. The cat's got at it, even though I have these boxes, essentially like shallow boxes about this big to cover this. They get their paws in underneath and back bits around. I think it's all straight. So without further ado, let's go in. I'm assuming I've finished a year. I guess I must have. So we have mutiny. Each privateer and pirate loses a soldier or is disrupted if it has no soldiers. So Courland Merchant Marine go down. Drake loses a soldier. That one goes down. The Buccaneer King, Sir Henry Morgan, goes down. And the Brethren of the Coast lose a soldier. Bad luck, chaps. Mutinies all going on. Each immature card or tent is advanced 1 year. That can be a real killer. And that is... Now, I wonder if that means this is maturing this year. Yeah, so it's just about, it hasn't matured yet, so that's going to go forward. Okay, so a couple more gold having to be spent by 2 or 3 people there. Okay, what do we do next? Yes, it's here, isn't it? So that's the black spot. Now capitalisation. Okay, so that's why we have to pay that. So 1 from the Marquis, 2 from the Brethren, 2 from Duke Kettler, and nothing from Francis Drake. Okay. Skullduggery. Anyone's got enough money to do anything unless he pays the Marquis. He hasn't really. He needs a treasure. Something of the treasure from the flotta. Okay, so no skullduggery, so we go to the auction. Now this is Prince Louis II de Condé. Parlement de Paris. Oh, you can disrupt a French card. Or you can seize a disrupted Protestant unit. Or you can make or break a truce with any nation. That could be handy, so you don't have to fight them, or you could continue to fight. Make or break a truce. I guess that means from an event card. Or does it mean you could start a war now? No, because no one's under truce, they're just at peace as such. At least in this part of the world. So Catholics would be quite interested. Well, everyone's quite interested because Protestants might want to protect themselves, but it's not going to be hugely valuable. So at the moment, Raleigh's out, Duke is in, he's out, so it's between these two. He's not going to spend on it because he's got a cash shortage. Does he want it for 1? Disrupt any French card could be very helpful. Against the Buccaneers here, and also against the Brethren there, and against the Buccaneer here. Okay. So yes, he's getting that for 1. Maybe he would go in, but I don't think so. Now, unit actions. Okay, so what were the Buccaneers? I don't know what was going on. I sort of vaguely memories, but he needs cash, so he needs to trade. There's no one's... Raleigh is still a pirate. So, but he's only got a crew of 1. So against this crew of 1, Raleigh may well not go. So it's probably worth risking his fleet. So he's going to trade... he's not a pirate anymore. How did that happen? Oh yeah, because he came a treasure flotter carrier. So he can trade against anyone now. So he's going to take on board 2 from this one. So he sails up to Caracas. And then he's going to sail off through San Martin pirate zone, and that is not where Drake is, so he's safe. Okay, now Drake's next. Drake wants to not be a pirate anymore. Or does he? It might be a good position for him, because this way he can just attack the others and keep them away from his quasi lead. They're still sort of equalising with the Marquis. So it makes sense for him to attack the Marquis if he could. What he could do is he could raid the Aaaaand. He's only got 1. Now this is a bit of a crucial thing. It doesn't say in the rules which order, and I've been allowing you to. There's no strict order, so you can disband soldiers from one and then outfit them to another. Is that going to be? Yeah, there's nothing to say that you can't do both with the same gold. But then it does leave his silver mine unprotected. But he could attack it. Now I think what Drake's going to do is do some trading with the Council for Foreign Plantations. And Corland Merchant Marine accept that. So he comes in here. No, it's here in Barbados. And then takes off through there. He's fine. So you can get just 1 for that. Okay. No, actually no, what he's going to do, instead of trade, he's going to besiege a treasure city, and there's no guards there, so he can essentially choose anyone. Let's take Portobello. So Drake sails up to it, starts a siege, and we would exchange soldiers. He has none, so he's going to lose none. And so for, I believe, for every soldier he has, he can take 1 gold. Straight from the coffers of him into his own. Okay. Okay. And say that Duke Kettler. Just going to put 2 soldiers into this. Break these down into 5. And put a soldier in each of these. And then he's going to do the same to a nut with Henry Morgan. Now that's in war or pirates only, so Henry Morgan will have to become a pirate. That's okay, he's quite happy with that. Which is going to mean as long as the Marquis is making cash, Drake and Henry Morgan can be raiding him. So he takes the other cash from the Duke, from the Marquis, and trades with himself through San Martin. Yeah, there. Okay. And then the Marquis is cursing his luck. He needs the cash. No one's trading with him. His Hacendado is protected. He's got 2 forts out on his holdings. And he needs some cash to build up his, for example, his colony here, his heathen colony, could raid the Buccaneers holding in Venezuela. So he's not able to do anything, disappointingly. So we reset the profit levels. So he gets 4. And the Duke gets 1, 2, in addition to what he had before. And Francis Drake gets nothing extra and he gets nothing. Okay. Initiate upgrades. Now there's none at the moment. Well, we could initiate and then them to mature. So no initiation. Advance the turn. Okay, this is 1617, and we have smallpox. Each heathen colony loses a size. Remember those other smallpox outbreaks? So these heathen colonies, and is discarded, not even disrupted, but discarded if it goes to size 0. So those colonies are gone, never to be again. Oh dear. That's hit Hacendado hard. Well, they weren't doing much for him actually. Capitalization. He can't capitalize, so he loses the silver mill he was maturing. He needs to pay 2. He needs to pay 2. And Drake none. Auction. So this is the Capuchin Illuminati, Order of the Holy Sacrament, a Franciscan Commissary General of the Spanish Indies, Fray Gabriel of Barcelona. He can remove the pirate tent by conversion, and he can proselytize, which steals a soldier from a heathen colony, which increases the size of the colony by 1. Okay, that would have been helpful for him to feed his colonies that way. We have no other heathen colonies, so no one's that interested in it except for Drake. And Drake's only got 1. He bids that, but Kettler bids 1 to beat him on it, and having the higher crown number will win that. So Drake can't go higher. He's not actually so interested. He wants the cash, so he gets the Capuchin Illuminati. interesting. Unit actions. The Brethren. They're biding their time at the moment. They add a soldier here. In 3 years, every colony is going to go up a size, so he's hoping that that's not destroyed before then. And so he's going to trade. Once that goes up a size, I think he will start investing an upgrade for that tobacco plantation. Okay. Francis Drake. There's no gold here to steal. And he's still a pirate. So he's saying, look, I will pay you, he says, what? 25 gold? No, to convert me to Catholicism. So I'm not a pirate anymore. So I think he can do a Quicksilver fleet. No, only merchant fleets can do that. And he's a pirate. So still, he can trade with this. Okay. For one. And he's going to rebase himself. I'm just going to randomly determine. Okay. Wants to keep the others guessing. The Duke. He has 2 fleets. If he went piratical, he could attack them or Drake. But no, okay, nobody's trading with Drake. Nobody has to. Drake can't trade with himself. For 1 gold, he could convert Sir Henry Morgan. But Sir Henry Morgan, being British, can trade with this, so he's fine. So he's just trading with himself. And then this poor fellow can do nothing except try and make bargains with the other players. If anybody has 6 gold, or more than 6, they could give it to him to increase their fleet size. Only he hasn't, it doesn't want to give him the money, but then he could pirate some of it back. No, I think everybody's preferring to just let him starve on the vine. Okay, so reset profit levels. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1 for Drake. And 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Okay, and 0 there. Initiate upgrades. So the Buccaneers get the Companders Îles d'Amérique, a French colony in Grenada, the Windward Islands. That's a spice colony. It only can trade 1 gold at the moment, so unless it gets upgraded. I should have started. No, yes, he had the money to start upgrading. Anyway, Grenada, the Windward Isles. Okay. One thing that would be handy to have is, for example, that Buccaneer, if he had a spare fleet, he could position it here as a privateer and guard his holding there, for example, or here in the Pirate Coraco base. But anyway, nothing else is maturing, anything else. So he's going to initiate A 1, 2, 3. Sugar mill, silver, sugar. Is it? No. Okay. No, he's initiating an upgrade for spices there. Marquis wants to initiate, but he has no, so he's going to do it. Just no, because he has no goal for capitalisation. No, let's say he moves his soldier there, because he doesn't need to guard his hacendado, because it's fortified. It's not going to. Except he could spend 2 to destroy the fort. Well, I wanted to. He moves that soldier out. No. Okay. He's just trying to sit on his 50 treasure, but then Drake's going to pull away with the lead. So he's going to sit there and rely on him signing the flotter next year unless something else happens. Okay. So that's all. Advance the turn. And we have cholera in the Yucatan. The Yucatan is here, we have no colonies here. So capitalisation is to pay 1. He pays 2. Okay. Skullduggery. He's going to increase his fleet size by 1. So the Brethren of the Coast, and their size 3 fleet, the biggest. He could spend 3 gold and disrupt any French card, so he could disrupt them. He would lose. It would also disrupt his small dealer, so he would probably lose that too. But he's also ahead in cash, so he might well be able to buy it back quite easily. Now that's interesting. No, that wouldn't happen at the same time. Okay. He doesn't really need to hit him. But he could, for example, say, use it as a threat. I will do this to you unless you trade with me. If you don't trade with me this turn to the fullness of your fleet, then I am going to do it next go. What a great threat that is against the player card. Okay, so he's saying that. That's all the skullduggery actions going on. So now we auction with this. Oh, it's an event. Invert this card if a British truce is negotiated. Britain declares Navigation Act. Britain at war. British cards disrupted unless held by British players. British units are filled with soldiers. Oh, okay. So Drake's filled up with a soldier. This is not held by a British player, so this is disrupted. And Henry Morgan is disrupted too, so Courland lose their pirate. Poor them. So these are going to go up for auction, I believe, the next year. And there's British there, British here? No. Okay. So that hit Courland. Okay. And now they're capitalising a mill that they don't need. They might have to sell that. We'll see. So Britain is at war, but not at war with any other player. So we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to leave the card there though, because I think maybe if Britain is war, does that mean the other players can attack them without piracy, even though they're not at war with another player nation? Event cards. Oh, I didn't know that. Any war increases the capitalisation cost from 1 to 2 for all players, except for C2. Except for players holding princess, cardinalship or knighthood Mordida cards. No princesses, no knightships and no cardinals. Okay. Wow. So the war is increasing costs. So units of a nation at war are free to attack any other units. Okay, yeah, so Drake can attack anyone. Wouldn't become a pirate, but he already is. Warring units or units that attack warring units are exempt from receiving. So if anyone attacks Drake or one of these, they are exempt from piracy. Okay. Interesting. So we could make a truce. So the Frond conspiracy could pay 3 gold to cancel that, but no, I think people want to hit on Drake, although he can hit on them, but he can anyway because he's a pirate, so yes, it's to their advantage. Well, I don't think it actually changes anything in this case because he's already a pirate, but I think him paying for that conspiracy would cancel that card before his units were disrupted, so that's just bad luck. Okay, so unit actions. The Brethren. Okay. He's playing. That's in danger of being disrupted by Drake. So in fact he's going to put 1 soldier on there, he's got 1 there. And he has to trade with him, doesn't he, or else he's going to get disrupted, so he reluctantly does it, but because of that disruption he only has to trade 2 with him, and then he can trade 1 more with himself. Okay, and he's going, so to get to here, that's here, No, it's here. So he sails in here, and then he's sailing out back through here. San Martin. No. Yes. Oh, and that is where Drake is based. So Drake can intercept. But it's 2 against 2. Although Drake does just have better seamanship. It's risky, and he's not a big enough threat to Drake at the moment. I think for Drake to justify that, he lets that go. Okay. So Drake's actions now. Drake doesn't have anyone to trade with. So the best thing he could do he could raid a colony. He's going to lose a soldier, but he could, for example, destroy that. Yeah, because there's a profit there, so he's going to do that. They each lose a soldier, and he sacks this and takes the profit, so that goes down 1 size, and he gains 1 for that. Is that correct? What sacking goes down in a size? Oh, if the loser has no fort, the winner may disrupt it. So it's disrupted, it doesn't go down in size. Okay, bang. Right. The Duke is not being able to do much unless he goes privateering. There's no one to steal gold from. No colonies have got any gold left. They can't take it from the coffers because no one's got any in their coffers. So he's just going to have to do a humble trade with himself, his own business, and Marquis can do nothing. Okay, so reset profit levels. So there's 2 there. 3 here. And 1 here. Initiate upgrades. No. No. Mature upgrades. So his fort comes online a little late. Okay, at least he's got another colony, he can put it on there. The Duke has a fort which is useless, so he loses that. And no cards to mature, so he advanced the turn. Oh, I got a card spare. Okay, I'll put that over in the next year. I must have missed a year somewhere, never mind. So what do we have? We have cholera in Espanola. Oh dear. All colonies over size 1 lose a size. Okay, so he's a size 1, so he's not going to lose. And capitalisation. So he's paying 1. He's paying 1. Skullduggery. He's not disrupting him yet. He wants him to continue trading, I think, because he's not the person to beat. So Britain's still at war. Okay. And we have an auction for the governor of Angola, João Rodrigues Coutinho, Portuguese Asiento slave monopoly. So this allows you to configure a fleet into a slave fleet. You could disrupt a Spanish mordida, and you can increase any fleet size by 1 for 5 gold. It's attractive to him and to the others as well. He's going to beat the others on crown, so he can get it equal whatever they will say. What does he want to do with these coins? Otherwise he hasn't got anything else to do with it. Oh, he could put 1 in here, so he's going to do 1. He's going to start, I don't know, he needs to do something. So he bids 1, he matches 1, will he go, he's going to put 1 there, he could spare 2. So he goes 2 for it, so he can get it for 2. And he has to lose 1 of these. He's going to lose the Capuchin Illuminati. Is that disrupted? I believe so. So these ones are up for auction too. Council for Foreign Plantations, Henry Morgan, and a cocoa plantation. Spanish cocoa plantation. This British one is interesting because they're at war, and Henry Morgan. Let's do, okay, so this plantation first. He would take it for 1. He doesn't need it, doesn't want to argue with that. Nor him, so he's going to take that plantation for 1. The Council for Foreign Plantations. Now Drake desperately wants that, so he can trade with it. He could bid 2 against it, he could bid 3 against it, so he could take it for 3. So if he goes to 2, he goes to 3. And then he could take it for 3. Would he spend 3? Because then Drake would get, oh, he could go broke to get both of those. Okay, so we're on 2, 2. 5 or 6 he goes, I think he prefers Henry, but 5 or 6 he goes to 3 on this. Yeah, 3 on this. So he takes that for 3. And now we have Henry Morgan. So he goes straight up with 3, so he would have to match 3 to get him. And a 1 or 2 he doesn't. And a 1, so he doesn't. So okay, so Drake takes it. Okay, that's interesting. So unit actions. So brethren, he can still threaten him. Trade with me. Trade with me. He's like, what? Now you've got all these colonies, so that's unless he goes pirate, then of course he can't trade. This guy's not the one to beat though, it's still Drake. So he could trade quite happily with him, but does he instead want to attack Drake? How can he attack Drake? He would have to attack a pirate haven. So, I just noted you could raid as many places as you like a year, as long as you have a soldier left. So he could just raid every pirate haven until he finds out where Drake is. Yeah, oh, he's loading up, he's outfitting his fleet with soldiers, deadly crew. And then he's going after Drake. So he does that, he goes to every pirate haven until he finds Drake. Now, so he asks for a gold piece as ransom, but Drake has none to give. Oh, I'm not quite sure how you raid a... So you raid a pirate haven. If occupied, call for ransom or fight a sea battle. Ah, okay. So yes, they would fight a sea battle. So here we go. So Drake sails out with only 1 soldier against 3. He's going to either try and flee straight away or try and grab the weather vane. No. If he judges that's what he's going to do, or banks on it, he doesn't have the weather vane, he doesn't have better seamanship, so he has no advantages. So if he seizes the weather vane and Drake flees, he could kill an enemy. Or if he goes for boarding, or he could go for a broadside and he would kill an enemy soldier. But then Drake would get away. But that would be something. Okay, so he's going to go for a broadside. What is Drake going to do? Shall I leave it completely randomly? I don't think he would go for boarding. That would be crazy. If he went for broadside, the opponent has more ships. But if the opponent has more ships, both sides would lose a soldier. But he has better seamanship, so both would lose. And then he could get disrupted and go down the side. So I think he's going to flee or seize the weather vane. So 1 to 3 he flees. No, 4. So he seized the weather vane. Okay, so he fired his broadside. And that's K. So Drake loses a soldier. He seized the weather vane. And versus boarding or broadside, he gets the weather vane. Okay, so we go to another round. He should have fled straight off. So now he's going to go for another broadside. If he flees, he's going to get away, but he will go down a size. But if he fires a broadside and he has the weather vane, nothing. Oh, both sides lose a soldier. So Drake's fleeing. He fires a broadside. So both sides lose a soldier. So Drake goes down 1. He loses a soldier. And Drake has fled. Okay, that's what he wanted. So good sailing there. And doesn't become a pirate because they are a warring nation. But I don't think once he's done this, he has to be based, or based in there, privateering. He's can't be merchanting. You have to choose one or the other. Or could he? Could he still trade? Can perform multiple actions. Yes, so he could. Player moving a merchantman? No, he's moving a privateer. Trading only occurs with merchantmans, but so I think what it means is, as a privateer, you're not a merchantman, so but as a pirate, you could trade with your own nation. Okay, so we go to Drake. who's somewhat down his luck, but he does have another fleet here. Now he could keep Sir Henry Morgan. He's going to take these fellows out of his useless mine. It's only useless because no one's trading with it. Put one in each of those. And then he's going to trade with him if he wants. He will refuse trade. And what piratical peskiness can they do? Well, they could bother these colonies by, and indeed this one, by knocking its soldiers down. They will lose their soldiers, so they won't gain anything from it, but they will cause them to lose something. So he could so he's going to demand a gold for him, and he's going to give it because he doesn't want to lose another soldier. And he's going to go buccaneering, privateering, and he's going to extort gold from him by threatening to sack that. And he could do it anyway, which would force him to become a pirate. But he's actually just going to give the gold, I think. Okay. Now his actions, he's only got this, so he can just do a little bit of trading. And he still has nothing he can do. I forgot to remove his heathen colonies from the markers from the map. Okay. So reset profit levels. So he gets 1, 2, and he gets nothing. Okay. So initiating upgrades. No. Yes. He's got some money. But capitalisation costs 2 at the moment, doesn't it? I didn't pay that 2. So he actually didn't have a gold, so I'll take it from one of these. Okay. Okay, so he's... Okay, this upgrade matures. And the gold there, he's going to use that to put a fellow in each of these. Should have done that earlier. That was okay, could have done that. And that's it. So we go to the next year, which is the start of a new decade. So all the colonies will go up one size. So this is a big colony now, but no one's trading with it. Okay. Which is great because then they can be protected with more soldiers. And we've got some big fleets out, or at least one that's going to be important. Okay, so we go to the next card, and we have mutiny. So these each lose a soldier. And he loses a soldier. And each immature card attack is advanced. so that one's advanced. And yeah, okay. Capitalisation, so he has to pay 2 gold for that, which he doesn't have, so he loses it. Skullduggery. If he had the money, he could increase his fleet up, but he doesn't. So no skullduggery. So we go to the auction. This is one Manocha, Cartagena Inquisitor, Spanish Inquisition. For 1 gold, you can perform a witch hunt. Specify a Catholic unit to be a pirate this year only. Heresy, you can disrupt a Mordida card held by a Spanish player. Condemnation, place a pirate tent on any fleet or auto da fe. Disrupt a Protestant card held by a... No, disrupt a Catholic card held by a Protestant player. Well, those Buccaneers are agnostic at least. Or atheist, I should say. At least. He's not, he's also atheist. He's Protestant. So he has a Protestant colony. But that's 6 gold and you lose this, so that's quite expensive. So that's not very useful. Condemnation could be helpful. I think that's worth a gold from someone buying into it. I think Drake's really interested in that. I don't think he needs his gold at the moment, so Drake gets that for a gold. So unit actions. He's still having to trade here. He might just, he was considering just letting him disrupt it and then buying that card himself, but so he has to come off privateer mode to do that. Or he could stay as privateer and disrupt Drake. In battle, which he's going to do. So he goes around the pirate havens, he finds Drake. Drake comes out into sea battle, and this fellow chooses broadside. Drake knows he's going to do that and or boarding. Both is going to have the same effect versus Drake. So there's nothing Drake can do. He's been cornered. So the best Drake can do is make him lose a soldier too. So Drake fires a broadside, he fires a broadside. So Drake has a better seamanship, so opponent has more ships, so both will lose a soldier. So he loses and Drake is disrupted. Oh, I forgot to auction the Captain Illuminati. Don't think anyone actually wants that because people aren't rich enough at the moment. Okay, so that goes, and his broadside would has no advantages, so both sides would lose a soldier again. So I think that means that he has to lose another soldier. So he's going to go down. So Drake gave at least as good as he got, and went down fighting. Okay. Now, if he had any soldiers left, he could go after Henry Morgan, but he doesn't. So that's him done. So Henry Morgan can be outfitted, and then he could go after him. Yes, there's justice. Or Henry Morgan could offer trade here. Still don't really get it about the war, because I think the fact that Britain is at war but not with any particular nation here has exactly the same effect as if Britain is at war with any nation here. Except in the case, because anyone can attack Britain and Britain can attack anyone. If I get that correct. Yeah, so others can attack them without receiving a pirate tent, which is what he did. So, yeah, so Henry Morgan goes after Jean Levasseur with the Brethren of the Coast. So we have another sea battle. And he has the best seamanship. So he wants to seize the weather vane. If he knows to get an advantage, if he knows that, he will go for seizing the weather vane. So he has to maybe do as far a broadside. So 1 to 2. Instead he fires a broadside. No. Maybe on a 6 he would try and board. So no, he can't board because he has no soldiers as such. So he's trying to seize the weather vane. He seizes the weather vane, which means no effect for him, and he gets it. So now we go into a second round. So this guy if he boards him, this guy has no soldiers, so he will gain a prize. So that's what he's definitely doing. He's going for boarding, so he knows that fleeing will have no effect, but seizing the weather vane he will gain. So let's see how that plays out. So he goes for boarding, so he gains a prize. He takes one of those ships. This fellow loses a ship, but he's gone for seizing the weather vane, and with versus boarding broadside he gains it. So while he loses a ship but gains the advantage. So now he's got the weather vane. So now he's like, okay, so I've got the weather vane. I can flee and I will always get it. But in the meantime, he's going, okay, what's he going to do? If I could fire a broadside, and I will kill an enemy soldier, which is going to destroy him. So he will get away, but he'll be shot fleeing. So if he knows that, he says, okay, what can I do against broadside? If I fire a broadside, there's nothing he can do against it, because he has the better seamanship. And he does not have more ships. So he's always going to kill an enemy soldier. There's nothing he can do. He flees, but it's too late. The broadside disrupts him. Ouch. So both Drake and Jean Levasseur, player characters, have been disrupted in the same year. It's getting quite heated out on those high seas. Okay, so this player has finished. So the Duke of Cornwall's like, crikey, just gonna sail about my one ship, do a little bit of trading with myself, and he's going. So he gets 1 gold. And he should have fired a broadside instead of trying to flee, so at least to damage him a bit. Never mind. Initiating upgrades. No one. They're too expensive while this war's going on. Anything to mature? No, no, no. Okay, and that's the end of the Spanish Inquisition here. Okay, so the next card up, that's the turn. The next card up will be Dutch Resbuteurs. And these are coming on for auction. Mustn't forget that. So we'll see that in the next video. I'm going to stop there.